Hi everyone. Today I am working on some sawhorses. I have this 2x6 that's 12 feet long. I'm going to cut it into 4 sections, and that's going to serve as the top of the sawhorses. So it's laid out. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. I use these squares as a guide with my saw so I can get a nice straight cut. The smell of fresh cut lumber, it's so good. We've got the tops of the sawhorses ready to be laid out. I spent some time checking my math to set the angles for the legs. I like to have a compound angle for the legs for stability. So I did a layout of 4 inches, and then it's going to be 30 inches from the top of the sawhorse to the ground. And that's going to work out to about a little over 7-degree angle for the legs. So I'm going to continue to lay this out. I'll do my best to show you what I'm doing. Now that the tops are marked, I'm going to use this with about the 7-degree angle and put marks on for the angle of the legs. Now that these marks are transferred on an angle, I'm going to take that point and draw a line across the bottom of the sawhorse for all 4. On the end here, I measured back 1.25 inches, and then I used the angle so this on the bottom worked out to about 1 inch. So I'm going to set this to 1 inch, and then I'm going to scribe the bottom. You know, it's somewhat humorous. I pulled this out on a couple of job sites a few times, and some people are just like, what is that? no one really uses these anymore. But I don't know, as long as they're sharp and you're doing a few cuts, they work great. Now that I have all the cuts made, I'm going to use a mallet and a chisel to pop out these gains. I've got 2 sets of sawhorse tops cut now, ready to go. So next I'm gonna lay out the legs and cut the legs. I've got these cut on an angle this way and this way. So that's gonna make a very strong, light sawhorse. I cut my first test piece to see how it's gonna fit. It looks like this is gonna work. I cut a double bevel on this 2x4, which is gonna fit into these notches that we cut out. So it's angled both ways. It's angled this way, and it's also angled out. So this is gonna make a nice, strong, good looking sawhorse. So I'm gonna set up a stop block on the saw, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut all the legs, which I'm cutting out of 2x4s. I know I said that, but I've got them ready to go. I've got a stop block set up and I'm cutting all the legs now for the sawhorses. These are all the same. This is my template. So that's set to about 9 degrees for that bevel, and the other bevel is set there on this saw. So that's going to give like a compound cut. And then I just wanted to show the stop block that I'm using, and that's the maul that we crafted a couple of weeks ago. I think every workshop is going to need a maul. So we have the tops ready to go and all the legs cut. So next we're gonna fit the legs into those slots that we cut out. Anyways, marking and pre-drilling all the holes where the gussets are going to be fastened. And I beveled the top so that it fits nice and snug in between the leg and the underside of the sawhorse top. I'll show you when it's all assembled. Hi everyone. I made up this cardboard template which I'm going to use to mark where I want the holes to go at the top of the legs. Now I can go ahead and pre-drill each one of these, and they'll all be consistent. I'm going to rinse and repeat that for each one of the sawhorses. So now I'm using 2.5-inch wood screws to fasten the top. I'm using the slide square to transfer this point down the leg of the sawhorse. So this will give me a guide of where to fasten this gusset plate. Now when I'm assembling these, I put this clamp on to keep the gusset plate tight underneath, and I have this clamp so that it follows this line. I can go ahead and fasten these. So here's a close-up of the finished sawhorse. I've got a nice beveled cut there. All the angles are matching up nice, and even the legs worked out. The angles worked out really good for the cuts and the way the feet meet the floor. All right. And they're holding up too, so this is good. I think I'm about 200 pounds. And they're not rocking.